Around about 8:30, the man called me. He said, "Oh, my man, I'll let you be. I'll call you by."
So that time you go to work?
I go to work.
Before you're working place, you come to the man?
Yeah, after to my working area to Clarence to now go to the man.
To Bosti now?
No, I'm not Bosti. I'm Bosti. I go to yeah. I situated myself. I question anything you want for me to explain for you to understand. Then still questioning me, doubling the question. How will be talk clear now?
I break his sorry.
I see.
When they call you in there now.
When they call me in there. He asked me, say, how many of you are working to the area? I say, we are 3.
I told him, I said, you are 3.
Yeah. So he said, I want to give you tea. To carry to
the message, what do you want?
Tea. Have no tea.
Oh, no tea?
Yeah.
For you to drink?
Oh, bread.
For bread.
3 pieces of bread.
The egg is that?
The egg into my butter. So, carry me to the main, say, carry to the main. When you give it to the main, then you come back to the car.
So the food make you now, carry that so you can go convince your friend now.
Yeah. When I give it to the main, the main say, thank you. I say, okay. The main say, where you going now? I say, oh, I'm going where I can. So one of my friends call me.
And the same way we do now.
Yeah, I see now.
And they say, we want for you to go steal.
Yeah. So when I go to the man, he say, clean the car. Then there are 2 now.
In the Jeep.
Then there are 2.
A big Jeep though.
Yeah.
That which?
That BG. Photo G. Yeah. So when I clean the car now.
Air condition all is that?
No. Papa, you can't wait for me to spin now. I'll leave the water now. You can judge people.
I'm just asking you a question, sorry.
You can judge people that can come here.
No, I'm a journalist. I'm breaking sorry.
The way you talk in the question, let's say when I move from here, I'll free. Let's say when I move from here, I'll free. You said one talk again. I wanted to mean who talk clear to you, but you double in the question. Hi, land looking, then you want force and now more word there again. Why not be looking to the top? I'm not going to again. And said they call me to the office of OSP.
I think you explained to me that you come with a you say you carry tea to the man. After you carry tea to the man and you come now. So what next now?
And for me, I will not there.
Nobody you getting very say ask me too much question. Hey, just put this in make egg and bread. Okay, sorry. Now I say sorry now. Okay, sorry.
If you
I will not ask you the question again. Okay, sorry.
When I give me answer now, then
okay. Explain again. I'm not asking you no more question again. Okay, that's why now.
In the say I'm in English.
Sorry. Sorry.
See, Ali, you take that. You take that.
I'm taking time. Okay, sorry. Okay.
I said I can take time to
me.
Okay.
I would not know if it's wrong, but one thing that I was not able to accomplish that I wanted to accomplish was after the war, the Liberian people elected me, and in fact, the Liberian people elected me to unite the country. I was not able to get some of the other factional leaders to return to Liberia. I was not able to get 1 or 2 of the political leaders to return. And I think they helped to provoke the situation. I was able to do a whole lot. Strangely, the LPC, these were all warring factions, and all of the other warring factions, I was able to bring them into government. In fact, most of the combatants that fought for the government during the war were the combatants of the warring factions that fought against me. So I accomplished bringing them together. I accomplished making sure that the issue of tribalism went away in Liberia. But I mean, to a great extent, I think most Liberians now, if you went to Liberia and took a poll, they would say Mr. Taylor did his best. Any other regrets? The second regret is that I was never able to get the United States to understand me. I was never able to get them to work with me, which is so essential for Liberia. No president of Liberia, no president can make it successfully unless he is online with Washington. Now, I'm not the type of guy that you can pick up a telephone and command. I don't take that. I didn't take that from Washington. Then, even if I were elected president, I would not take it. I'm not that guy. I'm not a coward. But I do believe that a good working relationship is essential for any president of Liberia, or that president will fail.
I'm filled with a profound sense of gratitude and humility. It has been an honor and a privilege.
Deal with, and this is what we must say, who do we elect into our public offices? Because, as I've said before, when you allow hyenas to take care of goats, why should you be surprised when the goats are eaten? This is the same. And Africa is only going to realize our potential in all areas when, by dint of choice, we enable and allow our best men and women to serve in different areas. I've heard it being said about Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore. I've heard it being suggested about Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. I've heard it being said about Japan. I've heard it being said about other countries. But there was a conscious decision on the part of those individuals and the followership. We always talk about leaders, but we never talk about the followers. The followers must also style up. Africans on average are for some reason attracted to thieves. Africans are for some reason attracted to men and women who cannot serve her. And when they are not served, then they complain.
His kind of trial. This takes him out of the local and regional dynamics that is West Africa. Second, tie any financial and political support to good governance in Liberia. Time does not permit, but the exhibits are present. Not even the Nigerian nation was spared from threats and intimidation, as explained by Femi Kayode, press secretary to President Obasanjo, the Nigerian head of state, who was with him in Washington when President George W. Bush promised, and I quote, to bring Nigeria to its knees if Taylor was not turned over to the special court. And what happened? Obasanjo buckled and capitulated. Now, this demonstrates the significant pressure that was brought to bear on President Obasanjo, irrespective of his personal and leadership obligations to the West African sub-region. And therein lies the dilemma for current African heads of state and government, but how to enter into binding commitments and obligations with the African pairs and remain steadfast, resolute, and unwilling in their fidelity to those agreements in the face of such unrelenting and punishing pressure from powerful Western leaders.
One more freedom for coming, they said they were freedom fighters. When they were coming, they said they were liberators. But when they keep their time, they change their mind. When they keep their time, they change their mind. What kind of people they so? They are freedom fighters. What kind of people they so? They are freedom fighters. You freedom fighter, you raping our women. They are freedom fighters. Freedom fighter, you killing our children. They are freedom fighters. Freedom fighter, you destroying our country. They are freedom fighters. Ayo, 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 ayo.
And yes, we can say to all of you that is important. It's important and necessary that we say to you that it's good. We feel excited to be back this morning behind these microphones as we engage all of us on the different issues. Leadership is measured not by the promises we make during campaigns period, but by the confidence we inspire through our actions. We are aware, too inclined to know that democracy flourishes when our leaders welcome scrutiny, accountability, and honest dialogue. If your leader do not have, if your leaders do not have such character, such quality, then it seems dangerous for all of us. Oh yes, let me say very, very pleasant good morning to all of you across the country. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to all of you joining us at this moment on Freedom Morning Rise on 87.9. A lot to talk about this morning. Grand Bassa citizens, particularly students, are crying. They are making demands. So this morning we will speak to Grand Bassa citizens. We will speak to leaders of Grand Bassa this morning. The only bridge, the only bridge that connects Grand Bassa University is down again. Is down again. What is happening? I'm talking about the alternative route or the alternative bridge that was built to allow students to commute. Only yesterday we saw political parties actors appear before the Senate Judiciary Committee to participate in a hearing that captures a lot of things about electoral reform. Yes, we'll have a conversation about that. Until the president has issued a suspension note for a member of the board of NOCAR that is in connection to this entire 19 million jug burst. So we can go into all of these issues. My name is Austin Kawa. Thanks for joining us this morning. Let's take a walk from Comstopper Liberia, a partner to us, and after that we can run into our different issues.
Yo, hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the source of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. This is Old Man Sam Sion, your community crime fighting partner. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Sion.
We want peace in Liberia. Peace in Monrovia. We want peace in Liberia. We want peace in.
Okay, thank you, OMSM Sion. Let's see some of you joining us this morning via our Facebook live feed. I see Venetius Junior Bar is following the show. I see Fofana Ahmed Sekou has joined us. Kobo Reader is following. Ibrahim Addison has joined us. Abenigo Newton is following. Clarence Dwyer, Alaska P. Henry to all of you, thanks for joining the show this morning. Rudolph Yancey, Charles Weir, Honorable J.D. Williams is following from Zulu Whiskey. Givlaw Vowuru is joining us this morning. Amara Jara Kamara has joined us. Samuel Lad Cooper is following. Lasana Zoka is joining the show. Limu Pigi has joined us. Junior Sikwe is also following. Josh Watkins Jr., David Gifler, Lucia Laki, Junior Johnson Dolly, Emmanuel Jeren, all of you, Achi Tape, James Lamy, Joseph Dwe, Abbas Fama, Testimony BC, Testimony GC, sorry, Samuel Heenan Jr., Anna Taylor, Josh King, Safa Seward, Henry Yango. It's good to have all of you, brothers and sisters, joining us this morning to talk the issues. So let me play you something. I will play you something from the former vice president of our country, former vice president Joel Howard Taylor. Okay, let me get it from here. She made a statement on the weekend, I think. No, I've been here. That the camera, that the camera do me that out. That I'm a real self. Oh, that I'm a real self. The camera do me that. Okay, so the former vice president had this to say. Okay. So let's listen to her. This is interesting. Let's listen to Madam Joel Howard Taylor.
Whether you must play with all the children in the 5 homes, so that family figure, the father figure that should be helping us put things together is missing. So I think the media can be helpful. Our media is a little bit too negative. Even as an opposition member, are there not some positive things happening? Yes, but when you turn on your social media, all you see is the negative. Very few people will talk about what's happening positively. So we've gotten engaged in a real negative society. Everything we're doing is just something, taking us backwards instead of helping us to move forward.
Madam former Vice President, you talked about some of the good things. You want to name a few of them?
For example, yesterday, the First Lady went to do groundbreaking for the first post-war maternity hospital, which we need. You have a lot of hospitals that are doing many things, but that's a positive thing, that the Latter-day Saints has come to partner with our government to build a maternity center. I think that's good news.
What is your view about this jokes that is being...
Okay, so I'll go back.
Whether you must play with all the children in the 5 homes, so that family figure, the father figure that should be helping us put things together is missing. So I think the media can be helpful. Our media is a little bit too negative. Even as an opposition member, are there not some positive things happening? Yes, but when you turn on your social media, all you see is the negative. Very few people will talk about what's happening positively. So we've gotten engaged in a real negative society.
Okay, so that's the voice of the former vice president, Joel Howard Taylor. She believes that the media is too negative, and that she believes that there are some positive things that are happening in the country, and that the media is more like too negative towards the things that are happening in the country compared to the good things. We're trying to reach out to the former vice president, the best interpreter of a man's statement is the man himself. So probably she might need an opportunity to clarify or explain to the understanding of all of us what she meant by that. When she said that the media is too negative, I see some media people, some of our colleagues in our different chat rooms. Obviously there will be some against the utterance from the former vice president. There will be some who will support what she said and try to place the statement in their own context, that fits their reasoning, which is fair enough to them too. But I think the best thing we can do is to, set the stage and give the former vice president the chance to come and clarify or explain better, to the understanding, like I said, to all of us. Probably she means something else, or she needed more time to elaborate or explain what she meant when she said the media is too negative. But I like to say something on the other side, while we actually try to get the vice president, not particularly to respond to this, but for us to have a conversation on a wide range of issues. But you see, all of us need to be reminded about something. The media has a complicated role to play in the governance process of our country. And we are storytellers, or we are supposed to be storytellers. Whether it's negative stories or positive stories, it depends what your editorial policy is or what the context you want to report or narrate or tell a story. Now, the government has a responsibility to herself or her agenda or to the country. It is the government's responsibility. The government has the Ministry of Information. The government has an entire media machinery, or I should say public relations or communications machinery, that if used effectively and in a coordinated manner, I think the former vice president wouldn't be sounding the way she's sounding. She has a point. She has a point. And we say these things over and over again. Don't get around you. Do you really want to believe that the media people just found pleasure or in waking up every morning or going to the different newsrooms and sitting behind their different platforms to speak negative things? The question is, are there negative things happening in our country? The answer is an obvious yes. The question is, are there good things happening in our country? The answer is yes. But when it gets to the point where we want to measure the good versus the bad, that's where the complication comes in. That's where the government of Liberia's information machinery is supposed to step in. This is a hard fact that they might not want to hear. There is a line. There's a point. So the government has on her mind, or should have on her mind, what she wants to get out in the public. The independent media has her editorial policies, different policies. If I want my newspaper to sell, I have to know my audience. If I want my show to be listened to, what I listen to, I have to understand my audience. I have to give my audience what my audience wants to hear. So when I say the media is a complicated partner, but for the good reasons. That's where the mixture of different narratives come in to play. There are people who are victims today of flooding. Is that a news that the government wants to hear? This, I mean, citizens are victims to flood, the different flooding situations across the country? No. But the people who are victims, they want their stories to be told. They want their stories to be told. Those in the audience who listen to us, who read the newspapers, they want to know what the government is doing to ensure that they have access to basic social services. They're not interested in how many millions World Bank or IMF, and the government of Liberia sent. The people who listen to us and read the newspapers, they are not interested in how many trips the president makes. The people who listen to us and read our newspapers, they are not interested in who the president suspends. The people are not interested in where the president breaks ground for a construction or what kind of road or not. The primary concerns of the people is that they want to have access to basic services that will impact them in their individual lives. So they will care less about groundbreaking ceremony. What they want is they want to have access to stable, cheap, and affordable electricity. If it reaches the homes of Liberians, they are happy, they are satisfied. When you're breaking grounds and Liberians cannot have access to safe drinking water, that groundbreaking ceremony means nothing to them. When you are breaking grounds and Liberians are still struggling to pay their fees or tuition of their children, that groundbreaking ceremony means nothing to them. Citizens in Basel today are struggling to have access to their university. How does the president breaking ground somewhere matter to them? How does the first lady breaking ground somewhere matter to the people in Grand Bassam? They want that news to trend that the only bridge that connects, that links them, that ensures that they have access to education in Grand Bassam was swallowed by the overflowing of the St. John River. And because of that, residents from that side of the country are locked in one space. They cannot move. They cannot access the city where they go to sell their businesses. The children have to go to schools there. People have to go to work in the different hustles. And the students have to also go to university. But that access is not there. Do you think they don't want that? They want the people in Grand Bassam right now, they want the entire country to be aware that the bridge that connects Grand Bassam is swallowed by water. It's destroyed. That's what they want. So they're going to do everything for all the media people to ensure that that news reaches the president or reaches the Putin. So little will be said about Madam Khartoum breaking ground for a maternity center. Little will be said. Little concern will be given. If you watch the video, three ladies who have gotten caught. They survived death. The video is scary. Just the moment they reach the edge of the bridge and landed on the ground, the bridge collapsed. So, my vice president, I know I understand your concern. We too are concerned too. It's an important concern, but that's how we have to understand how the media works. So, like I said, I'm not going to go into your statement because we have to give you the opportunity to come here and for us to talk a lot of issues, and, including making, I know there may be additional justification or clarity that you may want to give regarding that statement. But these kinds of statements are good, Okay, yeah, so we're already in touch with the office of the former vice president. So we get her here to come and provide some of these clarities. I still don't think her statements meant to criticize the work or the performance of the media. I think she meant to, I think she was rather trying to rally the support of the media to be able to be more concerned about some of these other issues that concern, that the government is making. But I think the Ministry of Information needs to do more to reach out to people. They're not engaging. The president's speech all night. The government people decide who to send the speech to. The audio. You ask some of them for the audio, they don't respond to you, or they wouldn't give it to you. But they share the audio with other people. They themselves took the audio and share it with other people. So it says to us that the government is satisfied. She's complacent. She's okay with the people she's working with. So I hope the former vice president will not be crying more than the believer, because they made it seem satisfied, that all is good, all is well, and the people believe and trust that things are okay, things are fine, the government is doing good. So I hope the former VP is not crying more than the believe. Okay, but that's the first question we'll pose to her when we shall have her here. So yes, I want to speak to. I don't know whether this fellow still works in the office of the former vice president. Let me see whether I can talk to him. T. Tatos Charlie, I see his call coming in. Let me try to return this call. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, Austin. Good morning.
Okay, I saw your call coming here. I know you called to. I assume you called to speak, make some statements towards the conversation we are having.
Yeah, definitely. Good morning. The former vice president spoke in context.
Okay.
She was not intending to denigrate, or castigate the entire media. The thing is that to was saying to the media that, these people, this time things are different. Mm-hmm. The media should speak positively about the country. All the time you could listen to the radio station, they will talk about how father is taking care of the children, how children are to behave and all of that. But this time the media, to some extent, they just say things, that people, the case here and the case will go the other way. So she was focusing on that. She was not saying that the media is bad. No, but in our country, there are some positive things, but there are a lot of negative things that are going on. And it's very clear. It's clear. She knows that very well. So she's not denigrating the press or the media. She's trying to say some positive things about the media.
Okay. We hope you will lead that negotiation, that arrangement to have the former vice president here next week. So we'll talk.
Of course, we cannot do that. I just spoke to her. We cannot do that. We just started. Command the relationship was started with the former vice president.
Tatas, I appreciate you reaching out, and we are excited by your reach out. We appreciate.
It's always my pleasure. But these qualifications are very good made because our media people, I don't want to think otherwise about.
The vice president attack. No hell out much more. Former VP Juwara Taylor attacks the media.
No, God forbid. We wouldn't go that route. The media is our friend, and the media has always been our friend.
Yeah.
We're not castigate or we're not denigrating in a way of form. Thank you.
Okay. So, President Brokaw, let's read this communication coming. By the way, at 9 o'clock, we will play host to River G County Senator Francis S. Dopo. Senator Dopo will sit on we sit behind our microphones today to answer some questions. I want to read this president's speech. This letter. Everybody say, those connected with government officials, the president should dismiss them. They should be dismissed or suspended, and all of that. So the president has taken an action, and this release came out last night, June 22nd, 2026. Executive Mansion Monrovia, President Joseph Human Brokaw Sr. has with immediate effect suspended Mr. Peter Malcolm King from his position as member of the board of directors of the National Oil Company of Liberia, pending the outcome of the ongoing joint national security investigation into the seizure of approximately 237.6 kilograms of cocaine at Rabos International Airport. The president's action follows a briefing provided by the Ministry of Justice and the Joint Investigative Task Force, which identified entities associated with Mr. King among institutions and individuals, requiring further investigative scrutiny as part of the ongoing narcotics investigation. The suspension is an administrative measure intended to protect the integrity of the investigation, preserve public confidence in public institutions, and avoid any appearance of interference with the investigative process. The executive mansion wishes to emphasize that this action does not constitute a finding of guilt against Mr. King, nor should it be interpreted as a prejudgment of the outcome of the investigation. The suspension is intended solely to ensure that the investigative process proceeds independently, transparently, and without due influence. President Bouaka remains steadfast in his administration's commitment to combating illicit drug trafficking and strengthening Liberia's institutions through accountability, transparency, and adherence to the rule of law. The president calls upon the public to remain calm, allow investigators to perform their duties without interference, and refrain from speculation that could undermine the integrity of the ongoing proceedings. The Liberian leader assures its citizens and international partners that all matters connected to this investigation will be pursued thoroughly and impartially in accordance with the laws of the Republic of Liberia. Anthony Nkula Fofana, Presidential Press Secretary. So the president has suspended as part of his administrative actions against those who are connected to institutions of government and all of that. One person has been identified, Peter King, and he has been suspended by the president. The president says to us that his action is not in any form or manner suggesting that Peter King is guilty, or that they may have some evidence to confirm his participation in this entire drug saga. He knows that Peter King's suspension is an administrative action. So they don't want somebody, the member of the board of NOCA is in government. They don't want any form of interference, or with the investigative process. So they want it to go on smoothly. So Peter King, please, I beg you, step aside from this position for now. Go sit down one place, focus on the investigation, comply with the investigation based on the findings from the investigation. The findings from the investigation will inform my decision for as to whether you should continue or you should discontinue your service in my government. So I need you to know that. Okay, so let's move on to something else. A lot of things happening over the weekend. So we have to clear everything, and then we go to any discussion. Okay, so this Grand Bassa, I want us to listen to Prince Tama of the Ministry of Public Works. Prince Tama is the Deputy Minister for Technical Services at the Technical Services. So this is a video I'm about to play that came out a couple of years ago, just from the inception of this government, because in this video you hear Deputy Minister Tama referencing this very breach in Grand Bassa. According to him, he said that the breach was part of the president's 100 days deliverables. That within 100 days, the government was going to take action on the breach to ensure that the breach is pliable. So let's listen to this video first, and then we'll play the video when the bridge collapsed. Listen to the deputy minister. Okay.
Currently, we are here today, and you can see Grand Bassa County specifically. This is the Peaceberry community, and this afternoon, we opportunity to talk with our Honorable Prince D. Tamba Senior. He's the Deputy Minister for Technical Services at the Ministry of Public Works. So I would like to say welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. We're glad to be here in Grand Bassa. Today, you are in the town to share with us what's the essence of the visit. While you're here, you see us here with a team of engineers from Public Works, along with the contractor, Jupiter contractor, who has been contracted to work to do this bridge. And we know this bridge is very important, especially for the university here, the Grand Bassa University, that for which the enrollment, 80% of the enrollment are female. And we think we're finding within ourselves that it's almost like an emergency for us to be able to do this bridge as soon as possible. We get recently provide the president holidays deliverables. The issue of the Grand Bassa University bridge completion was also kept. How far is that? Well, for us, all bridge structures in the country, irrespective of 100 days, they are all important to us. And especially a bridge that connecting a university and for which the enrollment is predominantly female. So we have to do all we can to make sure that this bridge is done. We're inheriting the construction of this bridge that is barely around 30% complete. So the rest of the 70% we have to do it. So by the instruction for us, by our boss, the Minister of Public Works, Honorable Giddens, we're here to do an inspection and see how fast, how quick we can move in erecting this Bailey Bridge. Okay, so we've done the one abutment has already been done. There's another abutment that is needed right behind you here. So once that is constructed, we expect that the Bailey Bridge will be in country in the next probably in 2 months, 2 months. So once we Bailey Bridge gets in the country, we will try to launch it. So in terms of time frame, we'll look at around 90 days to 120 days to make sure that we can ease the movement of the faculty.
Now, you see, and I know, and Tatos, I'll reference you and to the former vice president, all of you who be. You see, this is where the problem is. It's difficult to just wake up in the morning with all of these things happening around us. It will start. No, it's not possible. This is a video from 2024. This is a 2024 video interview that the Deputy Minister Prince Tama did with a commitment to complete that bridge within 100 to 120 days. We're talking 4 months and some days here. Let me repeat. In 2024, Deputy Minister for Technical Services Prince Tama committed the government on video, on the record, committed the government to completing this bridge. But then he said within 20 days, the bridge was going to arrive in country, and then the installation will start. And within 100 to 120 days, the bridge will have been completed, installation and everything. Folks, come to think about this. Let's ask ourselves, some questions. Senator Yomi Kanga Lawrence was elected pro tem in the same year, around the same period that Prince Tama made the commitment to Grand Bassa. The same year. Senator Basoga Finde is former pro tem. former foreign minister. I know somebody is asking why is he referencing them? Because they are influential leaders in this country from Grand Bassa. Senator Finlay was Minister of Foreign Affairs under the previous government. This bridge was lying there. Yomlikana Lawrence was chair for the Committee on Rules, Order and Administration in the Senate, an influential committee in the Senate. Well, this bridge got destroyed. Ansel Mita was remitting corporate social funding to Grand Bassa. AML was remitting corporate funding to Ansel Mita. There were influential people from Grand Bassa in the government, the previous government, and the current government. According to the deputy minister for technical services, then he said that the bridge was like 30% completed. He said the bridge reached 30%. So the UP government under President Bouaka was inheriting a bridge that started and ended at 30%. So the government of President Bouaka inherited a 70% liability or responsibility, so to speak, to complete the bridge. 2 years, 7 months running, 2 years, 6 months running. All of us, we are telling ourselves that a bridge that should have gotten completed within 120 days. Live commitment made by the Deputy Minister for Technical Services. How come 2 years running and we are still struggling to complete the bridge? The bridge didn't arrive, I'm sure. Or I want to assume. Or it arrived and the government decided not to install it. Because if the bridge arrived within the time frame as mentioned by the Deputy Minister for Technical Services, then why isn't the bridge installed? How come we have to divert to or using wooden stuff, plank? Now the plank bridge has collapsed. And the 90 days have passed. 180 days passed. 200 days passed. 400 days passed. And we're still running. The bridge is not in country, or has not arrived, or has not been installed. This and the pro team of our country is from Grand Bassa. 80% of the university students are women, according to their own stats. Please tell me, how effective do we think government is supposed to be when it comes to service delivery? Service delivery is key. Effective are we supposed to be? How is it taking the government 2 years plus running to complete a bridge that was meant to be completed within 90 days or between 90 to 120 days? I mean, let's think about this. With all of the influential leaders from Grand Bassa, this is a shame, folks. It is a shame. And we, the media, we have a responsibility now, and they should be seen as as part of our responsibilities to reach out to these leaders and ask them the hard questions. Call them here and ask them. Fortunately for us, yesterday we reached out to the Ministry of Public Works already. So once we can get their approval for the PMS, we'll ask the minister some of these questions. It is concerning. The deputy minister said he was acting on the instruction of his boss, Minister Giddens. this is a shame for all of us. That we, the media, we sat down and forgot to keep reminding, to keep pressuring, or to some extent criticizing the slowness of the national leaders to act. Today, the mess has been created. We all should share this responsibility, this guilt. That young people in Grand Bassa today are being denied. But those that enjoy, that sit in government, they are here engaging and debating on Facebook, to some extent causing each other. Well, students are being deprived of education in Grand Bassa. Bassa people are here intellectualizing on Facebook. This is embarrassing. If this does not seem embarrassing to Senator Lawrence as they put him coming from Grand Bassa, I don't know what could be really embarrassing to her. All the lawmakers, Matthew Joe, the other, I know, Clarence Banks or who. This is embarrassing. What do you say to those students? What do you say to them? What justification do you give them for not completing a breach that should have been completed within 90 to 120 days? We've gone 2 years, 6 months running. What do you say to them? That the government is effective, that the caucus is working, the caucus is doing everything. You go back to them with the same narrative. When the students get to the street to protest and block road, then you send police officers to go and beat them. But you are denying them access to education. You deny them access to education. Where their colleagues in other countries are learning, they have to sit down and wait for another quick impact intervention, which may not be quicker as we expect, because the water is overflowing already. So the water will have to wind down or scale down to the length or the level that will allow the engineers enough space to do new planning, new preparation, either to reinstall the wooden bridge until government can make the intervention that is required. This is a shame. So if we wake up in the morning and we start shouting hallelujah, the 100+ people watching us this morning will not be watching us, because they are not hearing the things. They are not hearing us talking about the things that the people that affect the lives of the people. They're not hearing us. They're hearing us praise singing. They are not seeing us calling our leaders here to come and ask them the hard questions. And it says that they provide answers to those questions. Do you think you wake up every morning to want to listen to us? We have to bring your leaders here. We have to call them on the phone. We have to ask them the hard questions. We must say the hard things. We must engage. It can all be hallelujah, praise the Lord in the morning. Hallelujah, praise the Lord in the evening. The leaders of Bassa will have to do something. They have to stand up. When I see Nima every day, I'm like, yes, they have their own challenges and things. They have their own issues. But at least these infrastructure problems and things, we don't normally hear it with with Nima County and all of that. The man they have. One man walk into Nima, one district, and carry 7 yellow machines there and say, you can open all the roads. The other counties own. They say you're on your own. You're on your own. So it's just embarrassing. Uh, I'm trying to get confirmation where Thomas Farah made this statement, but I think he made this statement in the US, I'm told. But let's listen to what he had to say about the CDC returning to. I don't want to talk politics this morning. Yeah, but anyway, let's listen to Thomas Farah, and then we'll talk this National Elections Commission thing. There was a hearing held on yesterday on this 2% thing and voter choking and crisscrossing from one political party to another political party. These are, salient and important issues that our lawmakers should be talking about. And I was so glad and excited yesterday when I saw that the Senate was holding public hearings or beginning a series of public hearings inviting political leaders, civil society actors, the media. I saw the PEO president was represented yesterday for us to have a conversation around electoral reform. And some of the issues that were discussed yesterday are significant to strengthening our democracy. Some of the recommendations that were made are important for us to honor those recommendations. They will help to strengthen our democracy. They will help to improve the integrity of our democracy. So I think I'll hold this Farah thing and then go to this next thing because I don't have enough time. My guest will be here at 9 o'clock for us to talk a lot of things. I don't want to run into his time. Let's listen to these senators, the exchanges between these senators and political party leaders. Small.
But because of the nature of politics, most women will not want to jump the gun and just jump into politics like that. But I think the party can set the platform. The political parties can encourage women participation. For instance, in the
Chairman Luther Tappe from the Unity Party. This is his opinion about this whole 30% women participation thing, which I have some fundamental disagreements about. But let's listen to the Unity Party chairman's opinion on this matter, and then the discussion will just be flowing maybe for the next 5 minutes, and then we can have some discussion around it.
In the party conventions at the district level, the party can encourage women who are very, very proactive and good leaders, sort them out, and once they know the woman has the ability to win a district, can also talk to men to give her a chance. So that whole process can be done, but it cannot be an overnight thing. It will take some time for us to get there. The issue of women participation, especially 30%, is a whole age problem in the legislature.
Okay, so this is the chairman of the National Patriotic Party. Let's listen to George Mobile on what he had to say about 30% participation for women.
Yes. It's a whole age problem. Because I can recall when the issue was brought on the floor, there were people who argued that the very constitution of political party is very level. Are we suggesting that you will have a national policy that will govern the primary of every political party? The answer was when this issue came up debate and we argued it, women at the time saw that those who stood against it were against women participation. You know, Marcella very strong on the matter, but I think this the issue of women participation, 30%, is the issue. Is something that had to be done gradually.
Like you got that. NPP is not speaking with one voice. So, you want to continue? Yeah. No, one question. Last 3 questions now be done. Second one. The VP said that if you are from CDC and get elected on CDC tickets and during your tenure you jump to ANC, you should vacate the seat. But the argument has always been in Supreme Court. And and the party says no, we brought a complaint. Supreme Court says no, they may have the right to come with a complaint. So the argument has always been that in this conflict, most often, it is not the party that pay the expenses. It is yourself. So how can you tell me to go with the party's mandate when you don't support me? That's the issue. Yes. Yes. Yes, what? I want one thing. Okay, on the matter. Okay, yeah. All right. We go next to Senator Taylor. Distinguished members of the Senate. If these things happen because there have been no controlling law. These things happen because there have been no controlling law. This is why we think for the National Patriotic Party it's better they have a controlling law. You agree with me that democracy is about competition, and you have a party put forth a candidate, a very powerful ruling party who have failed to convince the people at the very constitutional level, come to the legislature and begin to campaign for the legislator in his chamber, where you can join our party, we'll do the one for you, you'll be re-elected. To curtail this, the Supreme Court, if you have a controlling law, the Supreme Court will no longer leave it at the discretion. And coming transparency. Because it's right here in Saudi, once the party elects you and you decide to leave, give it, vacate the seat. But the party supports the candidate. Yeah, but here, there is no yardstick mentioned that the party has not been supporting the candidate. If the MPP put out a candidate, we will give you our vehicle, we'll give you our emblem, we'll give you cash. So that is our support. We're getting vehicle.
Okay, so not to get you boring with the so basically here's the context. The context is there are political parties that support candidates on their tickets in election. So there are two issues here. One is that the 30% women participation, and then the second issue is political parties, feeding candidates on their tickets, and then after election, you will see some candidates leaving their political party that they won and joining the ruling party. So let's use, for example, the scenario of the CDC and the Unity Party. I remember in 2005, after the 2005 election, a lot of people who were elected on the UP ticket, on the CDC ticket, some of them left the CDC and joined the Unity Party. Some stayed, but some joined. And it was an issue of concern because it really reduced the CDC's influence in the legislature, especially after the first 3 years of the presidentialist government. And then there were a lot of people lobbying, people that Buffer Chima, I still remember, he was leading that lobbying in the House, winning the Unity Party, CDC lawmakers, convincing them to join the Unity Party then. And like George Mobile said, they will promise a lot of things. America will give you legislative support, funding, will ensure that you do some projects in your district, will carry some projects in your district, and you can collaborate or coordinate with the public works team or the implementing agency or company or construction company team to reflect your agenda and your image in the project and in your visibility in the district, all of that. So they will promise a lot of things to leave their political parties and join the ruling party. And normally, or most often, we see ruling party engage into trying to win members from the opposition political parties, to their side, which is not an issue for me democratically. The issue is what happens to the party seat or ticket you are elected on. So this is the concern of the question. So there are some who are suggesting that, like the NPD folks, they believe that once you leave the CDC, for example, to join the Unity Party, that should automatically mean you have forfeited your slot as a representative. You can't be a representative anymore. This means the seat, the people will be electing the seat and not the individual. Electing the seat and not the individual, or electing the party and not the individual, which is a bit complicated because the party say this is our candidate in this district. You come here, we campaign for you, we give you our party emblem, we give you our party logo, we give you our paraphernalia, we give you our t-shirt, we allow you to use our party offices and all of that. We allow you to use our party our party leadership to work along with our party leadership. Those are all different forms of support we give you to ensure that you go in the legislature and push the agenda of our political party. So lawmakers who are elected on the CDC ticket, for example, are supposed to go to the legislature to push the agenda of the CDC, the agenda about governance, the CDC's ideology about governance, about reform, about the rule of law. That ideology is what we are sending you there for, to push. But you enter the legislature and then you shift. You shift from the CDC's ideology about governance to the UP's ideology about governance. At that point, you no longer bear our ideology. It means you cannot represent us. And you didn't send yourself there, so you should forfeit the seat. You can't be a lawmaker. Anyway, this is something that can be formulated in the manner that will make it possible. But I think it's a good law. I believe that people are not supposed to be leaving political parties easily. You can leave because we cannot restrict your right to move, your right to associate, your right to disassociate. We cannot restrict your right to align, right? But we can take away from you the immunities that you enjoy that took you to the legislature. Those democratic immunities that you use to get to the legislature, we take them from you. That means you have to forfeit the seat. 30% participation. I have always said to people, I don't know where this 30% participation thing coming from. We can't be talking about encouraging competition in our country, and we're still discouraging women from participating equally to men. And I was joking, one female politician the other day at the Capitol building, I said, I was like, you can't be telling us what men can do, women can do it. What men can do, women can do it. When it gets to the point where we have to compete, then you say, no, you're giving leverage. You're giving leverage. We can't be giving leverage to people in democracy that encourages competition. The clash of ideas is that we're saying this is a weaker vessel, so let's allow them to go even. That becomes no longer a competition anymore because we're giving you leverage. Giving you leverage means we are identifying that you are weak. We are identifying that we are not equal. We are identifying that we are not on at the same level. We do not have the same capacity. We do not have the same strength. And for me, that's not what democracy should be about. Democracy should be about the people. And the people must be made to decide what they want or who they want. The people decided Geraldine Doe-Sherrill did not have any money in 2009 to become senator in Massachusetts County over a Clemency Yue who had all of the money, who was aligned and attached with the ruling party. That's democracy. But the people decided Geraldine Doe-Sherrill over Clemency Yue. They decided Geraldine Doe-Sherrill over Wilson Tappe. That is democracy. That's democracy. We can say let's give these people from the other side and pay them, people 30 first. So you give them 30, they say, come, let's compete. Is there you playing checkers, I give you 2 CRBU. I give you 5 CRBU. It means you are acknowledging that the person is weak. But the person does not want to acknowledge that they are weak. The women keep saying they're not weak, they're strong. What we can do, they can do it. Tell them to do when they come and cry and say, no, you're 30%. What is that? To compete. And you know the irony about this whole 30% thing? All the women that have been elected in the legislature did not get elected on their party ticket or in a district as beneficiaries of this 30% thing. Nobody. Those who were selected from the different political parties, on this 30% leverage or 30% privilege seat, they have not gotten elected in Liberia for any position. They have not. The ANC Senator Kennedy in the senatorial election in 2020 years in the 2020 senatorial election, and she didn't put any strength. They say, yeah, because you are a female, go on our party ticket. We can't be, giving people leverages because of their gender. You put a woman on a seat because of a woman. So when they put you there because you are a female, and we say we want to strengthen our democracy, and we want to allow the participation of strong, influential, and committed, determined people, Liberians, to represent your party. You take a female and place her on your party ticket only because she is a female. No, I don't support that. I don't support that. I don't support somebody putting woman on party ticket because she's a female. I support females who have strong ideas about issues, about governance, about leadership, who are females who have strong capacity to argue, to debate, to discuss the issues, whether it's in the executive, whether it's in the judiciary, whether it's in the legislature. I support strong females who have arguments, who have knowledge, who are knowledgeable about the environment, the things that are happening around us, about the issues that affect women. I support those kinds of females. For example, Bintu Masare from Great Cape Man. This is a young lady. Yeah, that's my late sister. But there's a young lady who got elected as representative for District 1 in Great Cape Man County. This young lady shies away from every public gathering. You call her here as guest speaker, she will not go. You call her here to a grace occasion, she will not go. You call her here to do welcome remarks, she will not agree. Please tell me, but she's a female representing an entire district in Great Cape Man County. And I should say, representing an entire county in the legislature, in the House. Never spoken on any issue in the House, 3 years running. She's never spoken about anything. As if to say, there is nothing in her district affecting the living conditions of the people. Never held a press conference before. Never made a radio appearance before. I don't know about Cape Man, but never made a radio appearance before to our knowledge. You see her at public events, sitting down quietly out on her phone. She sits in Capitol building in the session in plenary, like she's not aware of what's even happening around her. So if we are using women in politics, say, okay, we use you as a representation or as a face. We take Yombli and put Yombli here. We take Daba Fabla and put Daba here. Then we take Bintu Masare and put Bintu here. You say that to feed the less to county representation, women representation for counties. Say all the counties, y'all go and see that one for your county. You're saying Bintu Masare is there, Daba Fabla is there, Kula Fofana is there. Who do you think the Great Cape Man people will sing? When they're hearing that, maybe somebody like Mama Briggs Mensa is coming from Bong to represent Bong. They're hearing that somebody like Yomi Kangalari is coming from Grand Bassa to represent Grand Bassa. They're hearing that somebody from somebody like Edith Gongdo Way is coming from Nima to represent Nima. Who do you think Kidman was saying? Dabaye, Kulaye, and Binduye. Who do you think Kidman would prefer? Kidman would obviously prefer a Daba or a Kula with the mindset that those two bring to the table intelligence, intelligent reasoning, intelligent understanding of the issues, the broader issues that are confronting the lives of our people. Not just that they are aware of the broader issues, but they have the capacity and the strength to confront those issues, whether in the debate or confront any other female politician in our country in any debate or dialogue or discussion, that will find solutions. They have the capacity to make recommendations and defend and justify and explain the recommendations and the impact the recommendations could have. That's the technical capacity of females that we want to see participating in politics. Not just anybody because you're female. No. I mean, no offense to my little sister Bintu, but this is a fair appreciation of our national leaders. Bintu is a national Islam leader from Great Cape Mount. I'm only using her as a reference, but there's another leader too from Grand Gila. You didn't hear these people engaging in any issues. The legislature is about visibility. If you cannot make yourself visible in the legislature, then I don't want to say use the other word, but it's needless of you being there. We send you there to represent. In that place, representation in this context means visibility. Our voices from the different districts must be visibly heard to one person. To one person. What I think, what I know, what I want to happen from there in Great Cape Mount, I want to communicate. I do not have the leverage. I do not have the authority to sit in there, and everybody cannot sit there. So we say, just send one person that will communicate all the issues that will advocate for, all the issues that will confront or engage Hakodis, engage the flow, to put the issues that are affecting all of you in the district. Say one person. Do you know what it is? Or 60,000 human beings say, amongst the 61,000 human beings in the district, we are sending you alone to speak on our behalf, to represent us, to engage on our behalf, to advocate on our behalf, to put our agenda. Do you know what that means? Do you know the gravity, the strength? Do you know the influence, the power, the authority that 60,000, 30,000 in some cases, people come together and say, we are vesting our confidence, our power, our authority in you. Go and represent us. And I said to people, most of our lawmakers, it's good that Senator Dubo is coming. I'm going to ask him this question. In particular, those in the House. I still believe that a lot of members in the House do not know the weight, the power, the influence that they carry in the House. Representation. I still believe that a lot of them are yet to understand the authority, the power that they have. Imagine a lawmaker walks to you and tell you that the presidency. The lawmaker with them in the presidency. So we call it the justification of that is that the president is an elder. We know the president is an elder. The president knows that all of you in our house were sent there to represent hundreds of thousands of Liberians' interest. You think the president, even the president who is the president, is representing our interest? That's why you guys are not supposed to be bad boys. You're supposed to be leaders, collaborators, collaborating, coordinating, consulting on issues. I think governance is about the people. Yeah, it's about the people. So the 30% thing, I mean, I'm not in support for it. I don't support it. I'm not too sure I'm going to support it. Even if you say 60%, I will still not support it because it will place the men at a disadvantage. 30% for women places women at a disadvantage. Let's compete. Let's promote competition in our democracy. It strengthens our democracy. See, women across the world are empowering themselves, building capacities for themselves, building from the grassroots, engaging their men counterparts, whether it's on governance, whether it's on politics, whether it's about leadership, whatsoever it is. And we are still talking in 2026 with all of the advancement of all of the technology available to us. We are still in 2026 having conversation about 30% leverage to women in politics. It shows that we're not serious. We're not serious yet. We have to adjust. We have to conform ourselves to the realities on the ground. This is not a 21st century reality. The idea that we must give 30% leverage to women in politics is not a 21st century ideology for democracy. No. Democracy is fast improving. People are solidifying their democracies or their democratic credentials. Well, women can confront men and triumphed over men without any leverage or dispensation. In our country, we want to strengthen our democracy and we cry, we are yearning. We say we are advocating for dispensation to a particular gender. And we think it's all good. We can't support that. We can't. I don't know whether my guest is around here. So we can take calls until we get signal. Because we have a lot of things to talk about this morning, and we have a lot to talk about this morning. So we wonder where we can exhaust all of those issues within the space of 45 minutes and allow those in the audience to call to and interact. Because I received, after I posted the flyer yesterday, I received a lot of calls from some leaders and former leaders of Rural G and some young people, especially the student community too from Rural G, is also concerned. They have interest in this in the appearance of their senator today. So we can make time for their participation via the telephone. Let's take some call. I'm receiving news. I don't like to do this, but it's a dev news. I hate to announce dev news, about people, especially news that do not come from family source or medical sources. Yes, and yes, well, I'm receiving information that a media colleague, one of our media colleagues, is dead. I will not call his name because this source is not. I don't consider it a reliable source when it comes to this particular information he has sent me. But we hope this news is not true. If it is true, we extend our sympathy to him, to the family of this foreign media colleague. But like I said, I cannot mention his name because this source is not authoritative enough to announce or to confirm the death of somebody. So I don't want to get involved with that. I remember around 2014, news broke that Soprano was dead. At the time, he was a representative, and I was news editor then, and we received a call from one of our bosses. My man, Soprano is dead, and you're carrying the 1 o'clock news is not in the news. So if you're blasting and shouting, Are you related to him? He said, where you got the information from? He said, oh, somebody posted it on Facebook. I think we have to contact the person who posted the information on Facebook to know their relationship with Sopeno, and all of that, because death news should only come from authoritative sources. Yeah. And the two authoritative sources we know from the journalistic standpoint is that medical practitioner license, medical practitioner must confirm that death, and not just verbally, but there has to be something reliable to say the man is dead. And then family sources, trusted family sources too, almost indicate, because there are some people who are family friends, who are family members, but I mean trusted family, like the wife or the mother or the father, or the sister or brother. Yes, that kind of relationship, you can use that, and then you can reference them. Say according to the brother or so and so. Yeah. So tomorrow that disclaimer will save you if the information turns out to be untrue. So they may shut the newsroom down. Your first care again, listen to people. Man, you should notice. Suspend and shut the newsroom down. Yeah. So yeah, you shut the newsroom down. Myself resigning too. But before the resignation, there was a meeting here with the owner of the station. Then he said, "Man, what's the issue?" The station manager explained. I explained. So the owner of the station took a phone and called Sopeno. The girl Sopeno, what's up? They said, "My man, what happened?" And I died because I know that he called me for, and everybody started laughing. So you see, you suspended a newsroom for this. This is the reason. So what do we say? How do we continue? No, but I saw on Facebook. I said, okay, but he just spoke with the man now. So you still won't believe that the man is there, that is open here today, still living you. So let's take a few calls. I'm receiving signal that our guest is already here. So let's take just usher him in. Let's take some calls on 0776 104 104 0886 500 104. Those are the numbers you can call in to participate on the show. We can take maybe 4 or 5 calls, and then we take a brief off, and then run into our discussion. And 0776, let's hear this person briefly on the different issues we spoke about. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Kara. My name is Otis Barkley. I do join you for District 11, the most Obama district.
My man, District 11, all right, forget most Obama, baby.
I'll speak on your last.
No, my man, later. We tell you, we're not encouraging that thing on the radio yet. They still won't be doing it. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, this is Vivian. I'm calling from Bobby Motokono.
Okay.
Thank you for the show. Some of us say, see, talking about the women that yes, the one woman gets naked, two woman gets naked. This one of the women that was dead, that's what I wanted. But no, they can't hear a voice. Yeah, now we just all the atmosphere around we became much hospital and the Kasawa playing like yeah, you know, I didn't imagine. The women who swapping on all everything, and that's not what going to.
She's graduating from which class?
The women are not correct. Women are not correct. Look at the way I want to your place. I don't think your place is not I want to. That woman that she want, I want to her. She very get in and woman.
What do you mean?
Everything I go in we don't mean the PO and that's what PO. They let me know that they're not waiting. I wouldn't want something that match everything. I am just talking yourself women and that you are women I just talk for. I mean I would just talk about the not walk. That's just no pay for it.
Thank you. You saw in your phone.
Good morning. Okay.
You see, the other woman is vexed. She's angry over her fellow women in politics.
I say it's so strange. Can you imagine? Because the women are not doing very much. So she's not happy for that. You know, there's Titus Charlie again.
Go ahead, Chief.
When we were trying to design the affirmative action bill, the Chief, Dr. Taylor, Joanna Taylor, so I was asking, I said, well, Chief, why this bill? You fought, you came here, and today you are a national leader. Why other women cannot fight to come there? And she was saying that Not everybody is strong. I said, no, it's not about strong. It's about us empowering women and ensuring that they participate equally with the men. So the gender parity bill, gender affirmative action bill, it's not necessary. So we force, and then today is lying somewhere, but there should be competition. There should be competition. The men and women can strive towards democracy. They can work very hard and women can do better. But they just to be in the back. And this is terrible for our country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And they don't even seem united. A male aspirant could easily agree to step aside for another male than a female. Good morning. Let's hear you.
Yeah, but Austin, what's up?
I'm okay. Let's hear you.
Yeah, what happened, Sherry?
But then you call the mega player show you call Sherry. Abu is coordinating something from behind the scene.
Okay. No, yeah. We got to ask for help, man.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, this is what you want me to do. We are time for the background. You think Abu today, the people get in our hospital, they'll be and the people that have it, and then have the heart of this country. The people need to tell us that they get resolved for like or the way I see the country going today. The people that have no feeling for the common people. You know how many women, how many other people suffer in this country? Now our school coming close. People are thinking about graduation. Some people don't get money. Look at the fraud that taking place all in the city, around the country. People don't get money.
Thank you. Next person, go ahead. Let's hear you. Okay, I thought it was Man CC from this side. No, let me cancel this. Okay, we can go for a break and be right back. I'll be back in a jiffy. Let's take this one from okay, I will take this one lastly and then we can go. Hello.
No, okay, take me off the line. I want to turn it to you quick.
Next time send text, my man. How can do it? Yeah, next time just send text. Yes, I'll put you on. Okay, let me. I don't know what Google song I was listening to last night. I feel forgetting the name. Oh. I see the man. There is no Google song. I feel forgetting it. I think I know this one near you. Not yet.
Badile, Toyo Baye na Baye Tamole, Sana Moko, Uke Badalo, Uhejuko, Toma Mama Sana Poyo Pale, Sana Poyo Ule, Uke Badile. Don't my mom with the Canada. Don't my mother Janani the Moons. Did my what to move him alone. Oh, I just saw my demo. On the Punana, you saw the abueli. Yeah, but you saw Janani. What you put in some. Padimo. So now, what's it to see? I need you.
Okay, we can bring this one down and move into our conversation this morning. So, on yesterday, we posted on our social media page that our guest for this morning will be River G County Senator, former representative, former national chairman for the Unity Party Youth Congress, a tax consultant, and all of that. Francis S. Dubo, and true to his word, we have him with us this morning to talk some issues. So let me say to you, Chief, welcome.
Well, thank you. I don't know the microphone is okay.
Yes, you can pull it to you. You can pull anyone to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, good morning, Austin. Good morning to our listener and our viewer. We are honored to be here at the Freedom FM this morning.
It's been a long time an interaction like this. I know you've been switching between River G and Masurado and other places, so it's been really difficult to have you here. And I don't want to tell the story how I managed to get it. But it's good to have you joining us anyway. How's it been?
Well, it's been challenging. It's been about trying to see how we mix our various functions of representation, oversight, lawmaking, and that of the greater part, which now is over intervention.
Okay.
So if it is just about the issue of the lawmaking and oversight, that we can intellectualize. But the key one now is moral intervention, which require sourcing funding, engaging partners to see how you can intervene into those areas of which the government has a gap. And as you all know, due to scarce resources, the government gap is huge. So as senators and representatives, we have to make it our duty to fit in through engagement so that will take up more time of our being in the legislature.
Yeah, I'd like to start on a more, should I say, controversial note. This is something that has actually revolved or been revolving in around you anyway. Your entry into mainstream politics, especially with the Unity Party thing, and then becoming youth chairman of the party, and then the controversy around your resignation, and all of that. I'd like us to talk about your time spent with the Unity Party, particularly that cycle, that period of your youthful stay in the Unity Party. How did it involve?
Well, so I can say that from 2004, we been active because prior to that, I have been with the Unity Party from 1997.
Okay.
No one told me to join. I work on grocery at the Eater Pharmacy, and decided I want to join this party, and I'm going to work to make sure that the lady who was denied from the Action Party to serve, I'm going to campaign with her to make her win election. Unfortunately, we didn't get that support for the Liberian people in 1997, and then afterward we started to engage with other institutions, including the FOB. We were there because we want to make sure that we have that level of political, pluralism. It didn't work well, so we decided to get back to the Unity Party through the merger of the Liberian Unification Party. And then we got to that merger. It was at that point that we were elected vice chair for Youth Affairs of the Unity Party and served less than 6 months. That was the point. It was at that point that I started getting full understanding that party politics is not a stereotyping thing. It's a mixture. For me, I'm down in the extremists, and I'm a liberal, so I go more or less for the merit, of the policy issue as compared to just being a social or person. So I was not the kind of person that the standard bearer needed to be the youth chairman, a person who will not bow down to just give you an instruction, but trying to say, I better reason with you than to be controlled by you. And that's my policy throughout. I rather reason with you.
Okay, when you say you didn't see yourself as that person, that you think the standard bearer at the time would have preferred as youth chairman.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, what are you trying to suggest?
I was more so, it's a reality. I was more so out.
So she didn't support you as being youth chairman?
No, she didn't support me, but yet I won. But when I went to school, I was more so out. That's a reality. Nobody can argue that.
You were more so out?
Yes. They declared my position vacant, even though she was aware that I was going to school. But like I said, that's what happened in political party. They moved me. And I came back, I supported her re-election because that was the institution. I prefer her to others in terms of the governance of the state. So I was unprecedented in terms of how do I support her. I reason. So I reason that indeed, she's not my kind of person when it comes to the way I behave, but when it comes to leadership of the country relative to those are in the race, I think she's a person that I can better settle with. That's what I did. So that's how I moved all along. And obviously, you've been seeing I've been very, very involved with activities of the Unity Party. Even up to now, I still affiliate with the Unity Party. Though I don't serve, on the ticket of the Unity Party at the Senate, but I will collaborate. But where there's the need for difference, I will ensure that I'm still doing that. I disagree on my
I mean, being also out of a youth chairmanship position within the Unity Party didn't, speaks volumes and raises some questions. Was it a conspiracy or was it just a one-time leave and you were out? Did you have a time to say, Madam President, I'm not resigning? And then a scuffle began, and at the end of the day, you had to resign.
No, I didn't resign. For the youth leadership, I didn't resign. I was in the US when the election was conducted. I would have gone to court. I had support to go to court, but I felt that while it's true that there's an action that was taken that is wrong, but the greater good is that she's going to the re-election. The country at the time was on the path, so it's better that my personal interest, being a youth chair, I should just let it go. But I didn't resign. I just let it go.
You didn't resign, but your position was
different. Yeah, I didn't contest. That was in the state. I was in the US. I didn't contest it. I didn't come down to say I'm not going to know.
But I'm sure she may have had a conversation with you, either directly or indirectly, to say, Tupo, this is the reason why I don't think you should continue serving in this position, and we're going to declare the position. Did you have any discussion?
No. And that's where the issue is. No, even the party chairman was aware that I was going to school, and I was going to school for a special master program for 11 months. And Omika Brown was going to add in my stay. And I was going to, I even came for a photo education. I think it took me at the time in January. And I came back. I didn't go for excursion or my vacation time to the Bahamas. And other friends were going. I decided to come back to register to vote. So that tells you that indeed I was focused about the process. We had a structure in place already. However, like I said, I was not the kind of person that, the standard bearer at the time needed to be around. I'm not the person who can be controlled. No, I'm the person that can reason, and that's what I prefer.
I'm the person that can reason, and that's why I mean, you see, a real new generation of young people now has involved in the Unity Party. I'm sure. What comes to your mind is, do you see that taste? The taste that you had before, or the taste that you experienced? Why involved in the youth politics? The quality. Can we measure the two? Can we compare the two? And what do you think? What do you think is lacking?
Well, sometimes maturity goes with low taste. When you get mature over time, once you are not being dynamic, okay, sometimes people get tired with you. The taste, you give, like they urge for something for the first time. It's kind of sweeter than the second time. So there's no way I can compare my activities with the Unity Party in 2005 as compared to going forward. The first thing is, at that time, the Unity Party have not tasted, what leadership, has been in terms of winning election. So that was exciting to know. It also had not tasted what it means to lead. Because when you are leader, you get exposed, okay? And people need to understand that. You get into an institution, into the terrain where you saw from the surface. And that's why I keep telling people that our political parties, if we are not mindful, we keep making the same mistake. We will be winning election. You can win, but you can be vulnerable.
Okay.
You can win election. Winning election is just one thing, but leading is another thing.
Let's talk about that a bit.
Okay, so you won the election, everybody like you, but in your service, okay, you have challenges. And you have weaknesses that you refuse to look out because the broader politics of you try to hide your weaknesses. It be happening. It happened with CDC, it happened with Unity Party in the first term. It's happening now, okay? So I'm there saying, hey, I'm collaborating with you, but you are leading vulnerably, so you need to correct something. As a party, okay, you got to be in charge. As a party, anybody on my voice know that exactly. Unity Party as a party is not in charge. It is the president in charge. And yeah, it is true that the president in charge of the government.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of dealing with the people, okay, the government and the people, it is the party that brought the government into power. So that party should be the face of that government. So structurally, at all facets, going down to the local level, everything, that party should be the face. That party should be seen. That's why anybody from the Unity Party will know that what I'm saying is said the president of the Unity Party is part of the Constitution. The president of the Unity Party should be favored in the governance of the party. And any party will want that. It doesn't mean that other people cannot say, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying in terms of projecting the agenda of the party, in terms of making people to see that it's a reality. Structurally, having engagement in your local level, these things are not happening now. And I believe that the Unity Party will have to look at that level of what I'm saying vulnerably. Okay, I'm one president who believes that if Austin, if I'm in the Unity Party government as a minister and the CC government comes in, they should remove me. If I should even resign, I should even leave. Because I believe in one agenda that says this is how we lead. They are forcing myself to be on another. That's given seeking. That's taking job. You can be clear with the point. You can be moving from one end to the other. That's what you see today of democracy is just the same. There's no difference between the CDC and the Unity Party, and even all the other parties that are coming in. Do you know why? Because the individuals are the same. The movement from one point to the other. There's no clear ideology. Leave that whole charade about the masses come on one end, people dancing. No. The slogan may be different. And I've been saying that. So structurally, we need to understand ideologically, we need to understand that. However, it's a kind of democracy that we have now. That is why it's good for us to be liberal, not to be extreme, because we don't have ideology. So when you too extreme, you be extreme on your own brother, because there's no ideology. If I don't believe in clearly, I don't believe in, let's say, lesbianism, or let's say homosexualism, and the other party believe in it, that one we can tear it clearly. But if we all believe in the same thing and we don't believe in the same thing, there's not much of a difference. It's about how to lead. So Liberia is a country where in almost all of our platforms look the same. All the things we say, the PAPD, the RAA, these are all structured in a way that you have to talk about how do you lift the people out of our poverty, how do you show Liberia. The issue now is how are we doing it? That's where I stand. I always stand now for now what we want to do. All I've said what we want to do. Like bro, probably now we say is how are we doing it? And when are we doing it? We have not answered this question. That's why I'm being at the legislature. Focus now is about how do we strengthen. The defect at the legislature is not about the people you elect.
And we're getting the rules governance issue.
That's why you see I'm kind of getting out of it, because I want to be focused clearly as to be a statement, not a partisan man. Yeah, so maybe the partisan people can see it, that this is how you be a statement. You look at the issues, you solve it properly, not to just leave it on political lines.
And maybe I should conclude with you on this United Party segmenting, and then we go run into the governance issue, because I'm concerned about young people. Since you are a former youth chair of the Unity Party, do you think the Unity Party is doing enough? I mean, enough to engage and empower young people?
You see, that's what I was saying. I said there is a difference between the Unity Party and the government. The Unity Party as a party president is not seen fully in its government. That's what I'm saying. So I cannot tell you talk about that.
What do you think? What if you were in a position like the chairman of the party?
We have to be practical when we say we are in party politics. The party must take the lead. The party must lead the process. The party must lead the policy. The party must guide and do the checkmate. That's why in the party you have institutions that will check on its own government employees.
Where does it start from?
So you see, because we've been having a lot of collaboration in that burn, and now one party can just win. However, it doesn't remove the structure that this party structure work with the structure of other party to ensure that this is our platform, this is how we want to operate, this is how we check me, and the party be given a voice. It's not the diet. It's not. Most of the time, it's not even with like political parties. That's where you see. I'm saying I am in the middle to see that this is how we should do it. You can't give a pretense that a part. How do I tell you that Unity Party is doing what in terms of what? If the party is government, I can assess it.
If the party is not in charge,
it is a reality.
What do we say is in charge?
It is the reality. I say the government, the president is in charge. The standard bearer is in charge, but not the party. It's a reality.
But the president is the standard bearer of the party.
Being the standard bearer of the party has structure to leadership. The standard bearer, when you win the election, now you become the president of the country. So you run the country from the basis of being a president, which I agree. But I'm saying in party politics, I believe that decision that is being made by the president, okay, must emanate from a party manifesto.
What specifically do you like to see happening?
That's my view.
That comes from the party angle. What would you like to see the party doing? What would you like to see the Unity Party taking a play in the government?
Well, so before going to the election as a party, you have your structures, you have your technical committee, you have your coordinating committee, you make decisions, you have policy direction. How many times have you seen the chairman of the party calling for a retreat and meeting other thing? I'm not showing any job at the chairman of the party, but the party in the government. It's in the government, in the sporting arena and other thing. Okay, so we want to believe that the party is in charge? No.
You think it's
I'm saying this because I've been seeing it over and again, and I believe that all are listening because there are some things that are happening there, and it can be corrected. We need to understand that you can be in the government as the head of the party, and you say you are working. The party is a structure that can be able to check. The party should have structure in it, that just as the government structure that can look at the behavior of appointees, how they are performing, and be able to take action.
Okay, so I mean, reasoning with you says to me that the issue is not with the president, the issue is with the party. The party has refused to take charge because all the party executives won't join in the government.
I don't want to use the word refuse, but I just want to say failing to.
Okay.
Yeah, failing to. And I think that can be corrected. Otherwise, I'm not saying refuse.
Now let's talk about some of your priorities in River G. It's important we talk about some of your priorities in River G. You want to share some of them, especially from when you became senator to current. If you want to go back from your days as representative, fine.
Well, I wouldn't want to go back to my days of being representative, but what I want to say in summary is that it was because of my prior legislative activities, engagement with the people. That's why they elected me as representative. And based on my being representative and my consistency on those prior represented action that led me to be senator. So I wouldn't go back to discussing why is it I'm senator, because we didn't fool anybody.
Your works for you.
Obviously, yeah, they saw me as somebody who was prepared to join other colleagues to pick up, or pick up responsibility, and they know that I don't give excuses. I accept and I move ahead, because people want to have the praises, people to sing praises to them, and that's enough. For me, I don't go for that. I go for what I think is part of my agenda. So basically, we form the agenda together with the people, and key among those things, focus on education, looking at the livelihood in terms of health and sanitation. I mean, looking at the issue about the land ownership, in the county. We have a lot of dispute on land ownership in River County. There are a lot of land conflicts, up to 17 plus. We have media on the issue of ownership of land. So they also focus on trade. However, we thought that you have all your pillars, okay, but you cannot achieve all just at once, because obviously we are human. 6 days, the Bible says, which could be 6,000 days to mankind, that God made the heaven and the earth. It says He took days, and then what about me? If I can organize my activity in terms of priorities and timing, and also then I'm not even making His image. Okay, if I can just do it at once, I'm not making the image of God. So because I'm making His image of God, that's why I organize. So we are doing what they asked us to do based on our plan and in the organization of it. We started engaged with the engagement with the county in terms of making sure that at least every town and village in Riverview County cannot be dark. Whether it is not the electricity from the government, it is some kind of power energy. Okay, in terms of having light, what you can read on, people can sit and play the music. Sometimes this time, because of climate change with the moon, it's not just coming to that. So people can have some storytelling. Storytelling is a way of oral education. People got to sell on it. So if you follow that in Riverview County, and we can see that anybody, we have completed. I don't know if there's a village there, then it's not on the record, but every town in Riverview County have received some form of solar light for us, and they are being lit at this time. Yeah, so that one. We also now focus on the educational aspect, making sure that we enhance the activities of our young people. Obviously, we started that far back. Record shows that from our own financial aid, we were able to support 150 graduates who have bachelor degree. That was done before for the last 6 years. We got teachers, more than 30% who are graduated from TU on our financial aid. Who are teachers, who got teaching, and I'm calling teacher, but they got teaching degree and also health science degree.
So you have the facilities for them to teach.
Oh, well, that's what we are doing now. So obviously,
that's a sustainable.
We do have schools that don't have teachers, so the facility there for them to teach. The issue is about how do they get on. That's what you see. We are advocating along with the Senate to ensure that we address the issue of volunteer teacher. And I am not just only looking at it from the list that comes from education. We have sent out to the CEO and the CHO to verify those needs, to make sure that all our people get on pay, because they got. You say you don't have teachers here. The issue has been a constraint about getting then also on the payroll, because you have somebody who have a degree to teach. You can train that person in no time as compared to a person who are not going to class.
These are revolving problems. It seems to me we're not just solving some of these problems. I think it's significant steps to solve some of these problems. Just you as an individual, 6 years plus 2 years, 6 months running, and we are still having a conversation about trying to get some eventual teachers on payroll, trying to get health workers or caregivers on payroll. 8 years running, and we still talking about these problems. Keep moving.
Well, so we then we can make one decision very clear. As a country, it's to just abandon all of the, which I can support part of it, abandon all of these international arrangement and other things, and run the country like a bit like Liberia. Take one decision and suffer another one. It's a decision-making thing. Yeah, because they see the budget. We have our demands, our needs as a country. Okay, they're far more than our ability to fund what we do. So in that case, you cannot solve one of the problem at once. You either have to re-engineer. You have to re-engineer. The way I'm saying, re-engineer, for example, you say, okay, say we are decentralizing, okay, which I support, like I say, I support part of what I'm going to say, is that say we are decentralizing, we will remove internal affairs from the national payroll, okay? The local government take care of itself, we give them grants, okay? They have financial rules, they collect fees from the people there and they pay themselves. Let's focus on the teachers and the nurses on our payroll. Not that, okay? Secondly, we also need to see, okay, there are some people in government that need to leave. I mean, we make government small, okay? That is a difficult one because you have not reached a point where the private sector is strengthened enough to take the people you want to take up from government. So I'm saying it's a mixture of things, and we can choose to just forget what the normal way look like and choose our own way. Other than that, we will gradually solve the problem. It will keep coming back. Sometimes it coming back not because there are new people coming. No, not because new people coming, but there were people there who were on other benefit by these non-budget support people, okay, that the UNDP. They were thinking of the people before. So like when we were on the life support, we didn't know, we didn't feel everything was okay. Everything was not okay because the 300 million that come to the country every year from Manasari, or at the average, every year from Manasari government to this government now, which is reducing, that were off the budget, those will be used to address other issues with other people who were helping government institution. Okay, now these things are dropping. So these people, you have to bring them. For example, in 2019, when they pulled fund in there on the CDC government, we had to make decision to bring in about 2,000 plus nurses and teachers on the payroll. But Friday, we're on the pool fund. So these things will keep happening, but except we take some affirmative action, which will also be drastic. And when it's drastic too, the other people suffer. So I'm still when you say keep coming, it will come. What you be doing, you should be measuring to what extent we are reducing it. I think what you be doing.
For me, I'm concerned about how you ensure that the allocations that are made to solve these problems are solved.
So the issue now is not just only the allocation. I have been in appropriation for the last 8 years. Okay. I have been seeing the budget executive velocity. Let me just go down a little bit. Yeah. How the budget is being disbursed, the money we are not appropriating. We say we're giving Austin Ministry $10 million, okay? But it is the foreign ministry that is executing. It's the one that's going to spend the money. But that money we're giving Austin Ministry is not a money sitting in the cover. It's a money that says when we collect, we should get it clear now. When we collect, then we will give. So part of the problem we've been having in our appropriation, we are being appropriating. But in execution, we are not being focusing, taking the money at first to the institution that generate income. So you realize that when we get to the end of the budget period, that when we start spending the money, then we're able to address the issues. For example, we put money in the budget every time for teachers to get on the on the payroll. So CSA is doing the process, they have their own way of vetting. At the time they will come to us, they are now concluding all the vetting, but they know the number of people that you get on payroll. Anyway, when we agree and give the money, then they go back now to do the vetting. That is time consuming, is it so? When you're done with that, before you finish with that, finally ministry got priorities to address other issues as compared to using that money for teachers. So they gotta wait again before you realize they're going to the end of the period. That have been. So if you follow, now it is what we're trying to do at the legislature, which, like I said, I went into the legislature on structural issue. It is not only because we vote people that we think they didn't get degree or they're not so smart than other people. It means that's what the problem in the legislature. No, that is the only issue there. No, that's the only issue. Our service delivery at the legislature is not strong. Anybody, by the constitution, or by the constitution, I would say, by the famous mind, anybody who the Liberal people want and believe from the constituent can lead. Is it so? The fact that man can convince you to make him to be a representative is a smart man. Okay? But if he gets to the legislature, he's going to be grapple with issue of the national budget that is the meat. All discussion is the meat. How do you appropriate? Like you say, how do you appropriate everything? Yeah? But that man that is there, he's not an accountant, doesn't understand financial matter. Okay? But structurally, there is an institution in there that's supposed to do that work and be as technical as possible and convert that technicality into a simple sentence to that man just to get him vote. That has not been happening.
Why do you think?
Or because we see, for example, the LBO, the other institution in there, we see Nigeria as a place of just employment, but not as a place of sophistication. So we're trying to change that around. The leadership currently, the both committees working with the leadership, and I'm involved, as the head of the secretariat from the Senate. We are working to conduct training and to change the entire mindset. And over time, because when you start doing that, this execution level, they are there to watch it. The oversight. That the blood, the vein, or the blood in the vein of that oversight is with the Legislative Budget Office. Other than that, we just make political speeches. We're gonna be tracking people's work. Okay, I mean, honestly, I'm here. Tomorrow you are a journalist. If I are a journalist all over, somebody will call you and say, "Oh, one bridge broke in one time beyond here." Hey, how do you expect me to know at real time? I can't know that. But when it comes to my attention, I should take an action. Okay, but if we have institutions that are working and we do some of the job, because what the work some of us do at the legislature is not our function. I'm not supposed to do intensive research. No. That's not the function of the lawmaker to do intensive research. I'm supposed to have the institution there, a structural institution that will conduct the research and give me the talking points.
But you have employees, you have staff.
No, my staff are not specialized. If you look at the job, there are one or two that will be specialized.
Yeah, that's what you do. When you choose not to hire
the job function does not call for specialty. Does that mean? So when you upgrade so you give me cook. Oh, well, you pay a cook the price of the value of a cook. I mean, the wage of a cook is it equal to the wage of an expert? No, it's what there. See, it doesn't mean it is the structure that is there.
But so who's setting the structure?
Well, it is the legislature. Not
so you have the authority to change it or propose.
Well, you change it, the budget will go up. Then you see the budget pending. It will go up. So what we're saying for is that the institution.
So you prefer having people
the central institution that is there now. Okay, are the one that we need to strengthen. Yeah. I know I suffer guilt by itself.
Okay, losing administration.
Yes, they're running the only LB I'm talking about.
So it comes back to the same issues revolving.
No, it may revolve. It is the first time we are succeeding in even getting the LB to where it's going to be. It's not even happening. We made all the effort. So that's guilt by association.
Students believe that you've been so too decisive. It is showing that
that is guilt by association. That's the reason why if you want to help the legislature, then you open it up and go for those that are performing and those that are not performing. But when you bundle it, you will get back you also and bundling us.
Is the discussion currently before the leadership of the
state? We are having training currently with the Legislative Budget Office.
How long do you think it's going to take?
We have training with the controller of the various ministry agencies.
The entire process.
Well, after the training, we're doing a digital system for reporting to be able to analyze in those small things that come in the performance and things. People are collecting revenue internally, and they are generating them because those are some of the things that will serve some of the things. You are generating revenue at the same time you are dipping into the national budget. So these things will come about when people have clear understanding as to how we can do the process. But like I said, currently, that's what we suffer is guilt by association, and we have to suffer it. Well, that's why we are working on the scene over time so that we can get there. And the leadership have opened up to accept these things. We are being fighting for those things.
What do you say to critics who argue that the legislature has been less independent to the executive?
But there have been no legislature that I know have been independent of the executive.
Do you see that as a problem?
The intent of it's a problem. It's a problem that we have to solve. But it has never been. And no executive will want that. Even you, yes, be practical.
That's not
when you become president,
the independence of the legislature.
When you become president, you will not
the independence of the legislature should not be exercised at the taste or comfort of the president.
No, I want to be practical. That's where monitoring comes. That's where people function come about. That's why the constitution is clear on it. No one individual. If you left with the speaker, that speaker want to control the executive. He has the power to do it. He has the will to do it. If you leave with the chief justice, he want to control the entire government. That's in my mind. The same goes to the president. So constitutionally, they say we should coordinate and act independently in terms of our function. So we need to get that one clearly. If our function requires this, then we should perform it. That's the independence I'm talking about. But when it comes to say that the president will want to influence, any president will want to influence. So you make as to know what you buy. So I just giving you a background so people understand why you people saying the president want to get involved. Any president want to get involved. Any president.
That's why you
should not pretend.
But that's why you.
So the should not be when it's a problem with no virtual government. It should not be about the president. It should be about that failure or inactiveness or inability of that branch to protect the integrity.
That's where the problem comes on you.
Okay, I'm not shifting problem. I'm trying to tell you first in that because it exists that everybody want to encroach. Even people who got laid, you're not paying attention in the terrain on your land. So I'll be brushing until they cross your line. Am I lying? It's a normal human phenomenon. So why we agree that that's a defect that we cannot kill. Part of killing the defect is for you to strengthen yourself. You can't go kill the defect because you knock your chain from the president. I give one example. Part of influence, executive influence is simple. You have the national budget, isn't so? So you pass the national budget. When the budget is passed, it goes to what? Ministry of Finance to execute. We don't have financial autonomy. We don't get our money quarterly. Okay, and control our own self. We go through virtual system.
That's honor money.
Honor money is a system that is there. You don't want to honor money. It's a system that is a defect. I don't know why we're intending to honor money.
Senator, I'm saying that you are suggesting that probably the lack of financial autonomy for the legislature maybe weakening your independence.
It's part of weakening any legislative independence.
But you have oversight responsibility.
I just give you an example how it works. So you see, we are discussing 103 presidents with different background, different travel, academic, gender background, against one person who was elected with a cool help with one background. And here you are saying now. What did Hillary say? Hillary says it's easier to convince a multitude than an individual. Now, you throw something in there, everybody has different view. So it takes a time to even lobby and get. But one doesn't have to lobby. You take a decision. The president has executive order power. The president have other power to use. I just gave you an example. I say, if we pass the budget, we're supposed to do our job, and you get to the finance ministry, and we don't have autonomy, and the finance ministry can go through the function process, and the time to perform our oversight job that will impact even the finance ministry. And I just gave you an example. I'm not saying it happened. And the ministry decided to through the bureaucracy. Don't you think it can influence us? It can be exploited for influence if it's a bad government. So I just gave you all the reasons. Secondly, if your institutions that you have in the legislature is not strengthening, how do you become independent? You must know something to say I'm independent. You must do something to say you're independent.
And you think the legislature is getting there?
We get it there. We may be slow, but by us talking, by everybody talking, by the leadership opening up, we will be faster.
How do you feel at times when you're listening to public perceptions as a professional person from different background, entering the politics, getting blown down, some may see it as a veteran or a group politician? What do you see with public perceptions about the government corruption in the legislature? Do you believe that the legislators can settle for bribes? They take money to make decisions. Driving around and listening to these kinds of perceptions. What kind of feeling that comes to you?
Perception like is there is dangerous, and especially in the system where we are complaining about level of education in the country, our level of experience, and our tolerance in terms of wanting to tolerate to information, wanting to understand what is the vantage point of the person coming. Mixed with greed and sycophancy make perception very dangerous for Liberia. And perception will not be the tools to, even if I would want to rate anything on corruption, perception would not be. Because the man who is talking about the corruption, if you give him a little bit of text, his mind is corrupt. So if you ask that man, he got one fixed mind. The day he sees Austin Austin was still very in the place here, maybe checking his own money. But the fact that I work for him here and going, he said Austin too brag. That's perception. There have been no time to gather the facts. So when that kind of thing go overturn, obviously, every man mindset in this country, before entering the legislature, people will argue that the legislature is corrupt. But we decided to jump in that oil because we want to help the situation in terms of structural changes. As you jump in the oil will touch you. It will touch you. You want to change. Now, if we cannot factually address issues, now given by association, you mean, for example, you want to go somewhere. One man just said and say, there are a bunch of corrupt people over there. Do you know what you're doing? You see, you're fighting corruption. No, you're not fighting corruption. You're building resistance against corruption. But when you go in there and you get the facts and you show the man out who is corrupt, then you're helping to deter other people. But the fact that you say everybody corrupt, you build. I mean, if everybody corrupt in the country, any country okay. So even the show is we're not giving facts. We're not even prepared today. When you get a case on corruption, people are not even prepared to testify. And yet we are saying we won't fight corruption. Yeah, people get fixed mind.
And even some of you in the legislature do not even want to see the legislature being audited.
Look, I just told you we are 103. We all not going to be the same. Even in a very small institution, not everybody wants the same thing to be happening.
And that's a fundamental problem. We're not against corruption.
No, it's not a fundamental problem.
That the fact that you can succeed in getting majority to agree.
No, I'm saying not everybody will agree. It's not a fundamental problem.
But that's obvious.
It's nature, even in heaven. No, nature that people will disagree.
That will majority want something.
So majority will not want something on different reasons. So it is us who the minority trying to make it to understand. First, you will not want something, Austin, because if you see somebody just running for over there, now you say you ask them when you start running, what the first reason you're running for? Safety. So a man's coming from the main screen and saying, "Oh, the public here, so it will catch you." The man focus catch me on what, but you think about if you don't go down with small. He built his mind on it. So where are you going to catch you on?
It's been years.
Why will all catch you? Now coming down. So for it's perception. So I'm saying to you, when the institutions are strengthening, the people mind. I don't sign check. I don't do the. Why you tell me say, "Oh, they will catch you"?
Catch you.
How? If you give me my money and you give me assistance to account for my money, the way you gave to me to do my job, I will account for it. Why should it catch me? It's all the demonstrating the system. Okay, so we are educating our colleagues. No, there's a project going on. The internal audit training that was done in the House of Representatives. Currently, the GSC is conducting a review of the Senate procedure. They will be coming in, I think, by next week now to look at what progress we have made. No, it's out there. You see what I'm saying? I said we are working in there, trying to strengthen the institutions. While you are working on the mind, you say have the fixed mind. Somebody saw one about Cody in the gutter few years ago, and he was maybe drunk. After 3 years, you see the man on the pulpit, he doesn't believe the man is a pastor because he think that one time he's in the man. So our system has been opaque over time. It was not even translucent. Now it's translucent. It's not transparent yet. The legislative system is not transparent yet. It is translucent. It's still gloomy. That's why we are working to strengthen it. I cannot acknowledge that because you cannot. If I say it's transparent, then it also means to say that you can open it, pay transparent on you can see who. How you know it's transparent? You can see who, but it's very clear. So we know it is translucent because there are other things that are not in place that we are putting in place. And I have confidence, especially for the Senate, with our Senate protein effort. I have confidence that until we get there, we will not be particularly 100% because there's no institution that can be free from all the misgiving because all the accountability is not necessary. But we don't want to have our voice or the opinion for the Auditor General. We can struggle with a qualified audit report that will change over time as compared to having our voice, or the opinion.
His name is Francis S. Dubu. He is Senator of River G County. We had a conversation with him. Now, it's 2 years, 6 months, halfway. We are at the half mark of the government. Mr. Bwaga's administration is being appraised by some I know you've spoken a lot about some challenges confronting the system. But how would you objectively assess his performance so far, connected to the government's performance?
Well, the government performing in relation to its policy, or the government performing in relation to other governments?
So let's talk policy first.
Well, the government
agenda, do you think is succeeding?
Well, so the agenda came in late, obviously. So obviously, I know that it's going to have a defect. It's not going to be achieved 100%. That is a reality. But what would be good is that if care is taken and the advancement efforts are moved further, it may go maybe around 60%, which is also manageable when it comes to that, because you're not going to achieve in 6 years more than 70% of your agenda. So that's why you pick out the critical ones that affect the people directly. And that's what I want to say. I don't want to think because people say, oh, it's the agenda, but it's the agenda that is good for the country. It set the country pace, but it's not going to be achieved fully, but at least to a level where it can, raise the standard of the people. There's challenging when it comes to employment issue for the country in terms of employing the sense of a fixed term, long-term employment. Okay, there are different other short-term employment going on, but those are not what Liberian people view. That's why you heard when the president says 100,000 and also 2 because it's not what we call employment in our own mindset. So we have to just move from that point to what Liberian people think. They define employment with the Liberian people way of thinking about employment.
Now, there's one question about, since he's talking about employment, because the Liberians have been complaining about the hardship, lack of employment, the high cost of living, and all of that. I mean, as a tax expert, I should say, what practical policies should the government pursue, to ease some of these burdens associated with the cost of living?
Well, so there are things that factor in the cost of living, and clear would be our consumer price index. How does it move? Inflation that impact. Inflation is one of the key things that influence cost of living. Why it is true that we don't see, and I don't know, I don't have a record. We don't see a pattern of company closing down in Liberia. Why it is true we're not seeing big ones coming in, even though they are on the people that are trying to get the change of control and other things. But we're not seeing company leaving the country. No, on a scale, I don't have record for that. So I wouldn't say that the structure of employment actually is going down. Maybe the pace may be slow going up. So because employment issue also, because when you say cost of living, it's also the income. So how many income available that is saving in the bank that I can take and borrow here as an individual? They all tie. Yes, we are collecting the revenue. The inflation is high. The exchange rate issue, we got to address it. Because if we address the exchange rate issue, the cost of import, the Liberian will import more. So if the Liberian dollar depreciate more than the US dollar, it means we got to buy US dollar. And to buy US dollar is to indirectly reduce the quality of goods you want to buy. Practical example, the exchange rate was 80, let's say was 200 to, let's say 80 to $1. You want to buy 25 bags of rice to import it from China. The exchange rate went to 200 to 1. Now $20 different, they gotta go buy. It may suffer 4 bags, so you may buy only 21 bags. So when it comes, because 21 bags not enough, when people change that 21 bag, the price will go up. Eventually, cost of living as a cost of steam, it means to live in that environment when you eat rice. Only that kind of rice, it means your cost of living go on high. The same go with education, okay, to take children to school. So when government focus more, like we're discussing here, to strengthen the public sector schools, obviously, okay, the prices of private school will drop. The cost of going to private school will drop because I can go to a public school and get all the things I want to get in Gibson, okay, and I'm paying only maybe 5,000. The same thing you learn, I got a digital board, I got a good chairs, and monitoring in the classroom. I get good education there. With that, people will start running from there. And as they're running from there, going to the public school, private school have to drop their rate because why they attract more people coming down to balance it. So yes, cost of living is kind of high in Liberia because all the other issues we're discussing. Secondly, too, our taste. Okay, we're going to invest in the agriculture so that and then build our local taste for our local product. Because if we do that, we'll then be putting pressure on the small imported goods that come inside the area.
These are found narratives that we've heard.
No, but you asked me yesterday, you say as a lawmaker.
Over the years.
No, you asked me a question, you say as an expert. So I'm appealing to you, what should be done? The question now becomes, are they being done?
That's good. That's how
when you see some of the legislation that I'm pushing, you see, like I said to you, I'm not the political microphone man, because I know it only doing political terms. Because when you start politicizing things now, you lose all your work you do. Politics, you have a time frame that we can reach to that point. But discussing the core issue, when people criticize me and we are engaged you to know your vantage point, I may amendment from that. I can get versed with you. Okay, but if it's just a mere politics, you can't explain to me that one is political, I will just doubt it. So the issue is, as a politician, or Mr. Lawmaker who at the legislature, we just need to focus exactly on the practical issues. Legislative issues. What are some of those things? We're talking about putting money in people's pocket. Gold. I've sponsor along with Senator Quay, the gold reform law. Okay, we complain on the gold. Oh, the gold carry our gold outside and other thing. But they are rough gold they carry outside. So we don't get much of it. Okay, we don't have a clear gold market in this country. Okay, smuggling is going on in the gold issue. Artisanal mining, like we said, the foreigners are taking over. There are fronting going on. These are ill kind of structure. I also propose another legislation on the reform or the investment incentive act. It's also in committee room to redo our incentive act to address specific issue of Liberian businesses in terms of distributorship. How can a foreign company get involved into procuring? How can a foreign company get involved into distributing and other thing? Okay, I had a meeting as I was invited by the vice president of a meeting. For that meeting, I told him, wait, we got to look at it. He said, go ahead. And I put on the floor a legislation. These core issues, okay, rent control. We don't have rent control. People charge anyway, anyhow they want. Whether they coerce me or not. That based on the floor. I got 7 different legislation that trying to find the solution. So I'm telling my colleagues to see. Okay, we have a
all of these things are just maybe in committee room and the things we hear.
See, that will make it difficult. It's a little issue. Okay, that's why we say here's a veil of the politics of the day to not bundle us. If you come to us, if you look into us the days, then you help us. But when you bundle us, you see what all the same, then it create a resistance. Then when that resistance comes, then you enter into another resistance, build again, you cannot make a change. You can make a change because in legislative politics, it's either log rolling, it's either looking at the medium voter movement or the turbo effect. Where do you tie your boat? And how do you move your boat? I mean, log rolling. Who are you moving with to get your bill moved? So that you see something, we get co-chair, we got co-sponsor to the bill because you want to get the support of that co-sponsor and his teams. You want to get champion. So we are doing that. Some of the debate, I said the debate, people got different view. But we are doing our part. I sometimes get impatient. Well, again, when you get impatient tomorrow, the guy says, okay, I can't give you my vote. So you say you vote on me. So there's so many ways. You can look at also the timing of putting your bill on the floor. Why a time to vote for my bill and I have a dissenting opinion on another bill? And I probably will sponsor that bill, got more numbers. I will lose my bill. There's so many ways it happen there. So you gotta be strategic. So some of us we feel like we are getting frustrated, but then we think about something. Say you are here as a fighter, so you gotta continue. So every time we want to first cultural change, I can tell you those legislation, like the export proceeds that we want to debate now. We're talking about cost of capital, eh? Mm-hmm. So we sell gold, iron ore, rubber, everything. The money still out there. The guys bringing their things into the country, they don't pay TT, so we don't get US dollar. So our balance of payment is unfavorable. I mean, we got low export value as compared to import value. So at the end of the day, what happened? When there's no export value to import value, for all your GDP itself is going to contract because, and when you're contracting, it means your revenue also going to come down low. Secondly, down, then the exchange rate pressure on your Liberian dollar because you need more US dollar to go outside there to buy. Because the US dollar, what they say, they are leaving it there. So with that, like I said, it came with inflation and then cost of living gets up high. Sometimes people lay off people because they cannot afford to pay them. So these are so expropriation, repatriation, bring the money in. The commercial banks are here. They will employ people. They will take the money. They will borrow the money. At least the money is not. The banks want to borrow. Why it is true that is low performance in terms of the loan, but they also don't have much liquidity. So they come to the country and get all the investment, but yet they can't get the money. So we are saying no. Let me repatriate the proceeds. That tip is also on. Those some other things they may say, oh, is that why we eat? Yeah, that's why you go eat. You don't just eat. You don't just eat because you see food. The things that bring food, the macro indicators that bring the food to the table, we need to explain it to you. Because somebody will say that I think we eat.
So we also need to see the practical workings.
Yeah, that's why we put in legislation on the floor. We are debating that. It's our job. But the president can do executive order one day. Our own, we got to debate it. The president can do one day executive order.
Okay, we can go to the telephone lines to pick us. Trust me, there are a lot of issues that we couldn't exhaust because of time. So that's why we always try our best to have these stakeholders on our microphones, behind our microphones and on our voice to quiz them on some of the issues. Okay, I'm not even too sure we exhausted 70% of our list of issues we wanted to talk about. Maybe we need to start giving them 2 hours now instead of 1 hour to deal with this.
No, let's discuss specific issue at a time. We don't help.
Instead of get you guys, so we'll probably want to talk almost everything. So 0776 104 104 0886 500 104 are the numbers to participate. 30 seconds. I'll give each person. Let's hear you. Good morning to you.
Yeah,
good morning. You're live.
Yeah, good morning. I'm here to say that I'm very much so. You know, thank you for your children. But the question I put to the children is that you're not answering that question. How do you tell them? When they were money to them, they all that Apple shopping will come to the end. It's not for you. How do you go in? Like, that's somebody that's going. No, I'm a lot of party. Instead of what for that, the woman started probably our way. You put our money, and then you have to pop up one side. We are not telling the money I was doing there. And he's telling us still right clear about it.
We do have a higher address national leaders. I mean, let's talk to somebody else. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, go ahead. No, we don't have the time for that. Next person, let's hear you. I'm fine. Please go ahead with the point.
I just want to ask you a question yesterday. For example, we already that issue with that money to 75,000. You will not give away the money. And if you say 60,000, you will not give away your party. But for all the other things, well, here now, I want to spend it. Just getting all that money to help you. I swear with you, you are I said, I can't get you a point of the you'll be over for. That's why for
Thank you. Next question. Good morning. Please go ahead.
Yeah, this is the regular calling for voting for the vote. The only I want to ask is that for the dead, I'm not getting fine. Oh, for the show you put it on where to go. And when it says,
but I don't know. Okay, reconciliation and inclusive government. I think that's a point. Good morning to you. Let's see you.
Yeah, I'll take good morning. I appreciate the honorable this morning in the studio, right? Yeah, I spoke very well. But you know, obviously, those beautiful speeches are also good, but the practical effect of all the speeches are still lacking in our society. That's why I want to say, he sounded somebody who people to make change, but it's not the matter with me. He being a unit party lawmaker, in my mind, I think more needs to be done. Am I right?
Thank you. More needs to be done. So since you is in one more I think Canada or the US, and then okay, from the US, this person, and then we can come back to you to respond.
On your Bluetooth phone.
Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. This is Neil P. Swore. I'm calling from Minneapolis, the USA.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Lord, because he spoke well. I know he's a ruling lawmaker at the ruling party, but he spoke well. But one thing he said I did for him, right, is like, I don't know circumstances in the world, in a democratic country, the executive or the so-called farmer ministry will control the project. No, they have the power. Even as we speak in this great United States of America today, right? There's that section or portion of the government that is still shut down. As we speak, the government is still shut down. You have the power to shut the government down if the government does not meet the needs in terms of the financial or capacity. So you can't tell me, say, oh, we all follow beyond Pakistan, all follow beyond SYC before we get our immigration, because we don't do it for not to hold our project. No, that makes no sense.
Thank you. Senator?
Yeah. So I just want to start with him. So apparently he didn't get me. And he saw that since we are in the artificial intelligence world, I'll correct people when they didn't get you clearly, so that when you write a book tomorrow, you can know that. No, I didn't say so. I was giving you reasons why the 104 persons, okay, that executive can manipulate, they want to have an influence. I said, no, God, even in the US government, there is no government where the executive would not want to influence the legislature. In the US Congress, President Trump is wanting all action taken to influence the vote on the floor. I'm saying that we're discussing the issue about your independence. I'm saying I'll give a basic that it can happen. And I give you an example where it happened. So when you in the US legislature, you don't go through the virtual process that you have fiscal autonomy. We should not make things that look different. Yeah, you got fiscal autonomy. We are pushing for fiscal autonomy, but there are procedure you will do. For example, your audit issue, because fiscal autonomy, you can be able to be open to audit. You see it? Mm-hmm. So that's some conditions that you want to push. So we are pushing that. For fiscal autonomy is important. It's one of the way you limit your influence for the executive. It's a reality. Do you think why the constitution call for the judiciary to have fiscal autonomy? If it was not the issue of influence, public influence is manipulate how you get paid, what time you go to work. Obviously, if they don't pay your money, you can't do your job. That's influence. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that we cannot shut down government. For no, do not pray for like to shut down government. We're not in America. We don't overwhelm ourselves. See, we have a balanced budget. So you cannot put to a point where the government will be shut down. No, we can't do that. The issue about speeches, no, I just spoke. I said, all the things I told you that before you talk about getting included in the country, there will be legislation, there will be rules and regulations. That's what I'm saying. I got paid on the floor. So I'm not giving beautiful speeches. All I just say, I have legislature on the floor. By association, that's where I'm fighting in. So you can also help me. You got lawmakers from various countries you come from. Talk to them, ask them, have you seen the bills on the floor? Like in the committee room, how do you make up? Hey, can you give him more support? That's what you should be doing. Okay, but I'm not giving beautiful speeches. I'm making effort, and I know there are challenges in that. Well, I'm not going to speak for the Unity Party, and I get it clear. I am an independent candidate as per the legislature. I'm collaborating like I did before. I didn't join CDC, but I work with the CDC government in terms of issues that were correct. Policy issues that were fair, that were important. I supported it. Those that I felt was not good, I provide counter to them. So it's not the issue about where I stay, but legislatively, I'm an independent candidate, but I'm collaborating with the Unity Party. And when it comes to how Unity Party have reconciliation with CDC and nothing, Chairman Luther, you speak to that one. I'm not going to take somebody's job for that. And again, let me just say, like I said, perception. The man say when we see some of the father increase outside, we pass it. No, we're not passing. We're not passing. In 2019, and you just forget, I said perception. The legislature reduced its benefit by 31%. It didn't capture anything. It didn't capture anything. So we did that, and we still open to that. But I said for anybody, I'm not going to allow a cut for my money. No, I'm not going. The Fed cut, it didn't go to Virginia County. So when things are spreading and we know that the policies are going well, then you can cut it. If you want to cut it now, I agree. You can cut all lawmaker money from Riverview County, but just make sure you go straight to Riverview County account for education help. I'll be happy with that. Because as it is now, at least my moral intervention is more than even 50% of our salary. My moral intervention on education. Recently, 200 students we supported in the Vocational Training Institute program. We paid their fees, and about 202 graduated because of out of the field of our draft. TU, we still have up to I think 60 to 70 students at Thomas University. We still continue the education program. Then with them, we send students in Rwanda. They are there, learning geodetic surveys. We help our land issue. We are also providing support to our people all over. What we have a project going on to make sure that about 150 water kiosks are built in Riverview County over 3 years. That is going to be sponsored by our own moral intervention, support for international partner and government. But we ourselves will put money in. So we are not concerned about the salary. We are concerned about where the salary will go. When you want to come my own, tell me where you want to carry our people waiting. But you must go to Riverview County.
If you want to come out, tell me where the money will be going, because I wanted to go to Riverview County. His name is Francis S. Dopo, Senator of Riverview County. Let me say thanks to you, Senator, for honoring our invitation. Thanks to all of you for listening. We shall be back here tomorrow by God's grace. But until we see you tomorrow, do have yourselves blessed moments in your respective areas. My name is Austin. Bye-bye.